2019. In our lead stories nationally, former PM and first living national hero to launch Making of a National Hero this week. And second DVR Day slated for Saturday, December 21st. Regionally, Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vasquez announces she's running in the 2020 elections. Internationally, fresh violence erupts in Delhi and Citizenship Amendment Act. And in sports, West Indies fined for slow over rate in first ODI delivery against India by International Cricket Council. We'll have the details of these and other messages. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail. The Making of a National Hero. That's the name of the book, which will be launched by former Prime Minister and first living national hero, Dr. the Right Excellent and Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Alphonse Symons, KCMG. According to VH Communications, 2 special ceremonies will be held in St. Kitts and Nevis this week to celebrate the official launch of the book on Thursday, December 19th at the Methodist Church Hall, Old Boys School on Victoria Road in St. Kitts at 7 p.m. and the following day, December 20th, here on Nevis at the St. Paul's Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown at 6 p.m. The book traces his life as a boy growing up in Basseterre through his years in primary and secondary school before heading to university to qualify as a medical doctor in the early 1960s. Sir Symons spoke with the VON Newsline and gave the rationale regarding the release of the book.
The intention is that the book should be available for sale at that time, at that point. And at that point, I will also be available to autograph each book as required, each book that is sold on that occasion. We are also going to be trying to make arrangements with booksellers, whoever they may be in Nevis, as a follow-up to make the book available in the local bookshops. At this point in time, the book is available on Amazon. On Amazon, all you have to do to get free shipping is to buy 2 books. Then you'll get free shipping.
Sir Kennedy Alphonse Symons. The second discounted VAT rate day, DVRD, here in St. Kitts and Nevis is slated for Saturday, December 21st. The first DVRD for 2019 was held last Friday, December 13th. Salaries and other remunerations were also paid by the government on the aforementioned date. On the DVRDs, the days allow all VAT-registered businesses to charge VAT at the rate of 5% on the sale of goods only. All tangible items that are presently subjected to 17% VAT will qualify for the discount VAT rate. For vehicle purchases, VAT will be exempt on the first EC $50,000, with VAT at the standard 17% charged thereafter. In addition to the DVRDs, the exemption of duty and taxes on importation of foodstuff up to £400 continued until December 31st, 2019. The Team Unity administration is projecting a more successful 2020 when it compares to the 2019 calendar year. In making the budget presentation on Thursday, 12th December 2019, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and Finance Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris explained there is an estimated spike in revenue. Here is the Prime Minister speaking in Parliament on taxes for the coming year.
For 2020, we are projecting recurrent revenue of $821.1 million. Taxes and income are expected to generate $150.4 million, which will be higher than that were estimated in 2019, 12% up. So we are expecting more successful businesses and as a result, businesses are able to pay their corporate taxes and levies, so that we are predicting 2020 a higher income coming from taxes and income.
He further added,
Taxes on property should reach 15.3 million. Taxes on domestic goods and consumption would be 100.4 million. Taxes on international trade, the largest subcategory of tax revenue, would generate 198.7 million. Additionally, we expect 25 million for capital grants and 10.2 million for budgetary grants. All of these sources of revenue should bring total revenue and grants to 856.3 million.
The finance minister also elaborated on the expenditure of what is expected for the Federation in the new year.
On the expenditure side, we have 617.3 million that is proposed for recurrent expenditure in 2020, a mere 4.3% over 2019. So we are anticipating in 2020 a recurrent account surplus of 200.3.8 million for 2020, and that should go to help us with our capital expenditure of 192 million. An overall surplus then can be realized of 47 million, and a primary surplus of 66.9 million are anticipated for 2020.
Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris. Monday, 16 December, marked a historic day in St. Kitts and Nevis as, for the first time ever, 4 cruise vessels docked at Port Zante. The Celebrity Summit and the Seabourn Odyssey became the first 2 cruise vessels to dock at the recently constructed second cruise pier, bringing with them many visitors to the Federation. The Celebrity Summit and Seabourn Odyssey were 2 of the 4 cruise vessels that docked at Port Zante on Monday. Berthing at the first cruise pier were the Anthem of the Seas, with a capacity of 4,180 passengers, and the Britannia with 4,372 passengers. The 4th cruise vessel brought close to 12,000 cruise passengers to the Federation. The vessels docking at the multi-million-dollar facility became possible after the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authorities, CASPA, took partial ownership of the second cruise pier. Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, Minister of Public Infrastructure the Honorable Ian Patches-Liburd, Minister of Tourism the Honorable Lindsay Grant, and CEO of St. Kitts Tourism Authority Raquel Brown were present to witness firsthand the increased tourist activity at Port Zante. The second cruise pier was completed in November 2019. Construction of the pier was to the tune of about US $48 million. And finally, information reaching the VON Newsline has revealed that an accident occurred on Friday afternoon, December 13th, here on Nevis. The date was also recorded as one of the first of 2 discounted VAT weekdays. According to the police, circumstances are that the incident occurred in the vicinity of the Bank of Nevis Limited in Charlestown at about 1:05 p.m. The accident involved a Jeep and a pedestrian. The Jeep collided with the pedestrian, who sustained minor injuries and was discharged from the hospital. Police did not disclose the names of the driver nor the victim. Although the details are still sketchy and questions regarding if the driver will be charged, etc., remain unanswered, police have told the VON Newsline that the investigation continues. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
It's Christmas, and the Bank of Nevis Limited has special gifts just for you. Thinking about traveling to reconnect with family and friends, maybe purchasing gifts for your loved ones, or showing that special person in your life you care? Well, let's do it! Get an easy access loan up to $20,000 unsecured this season. Of course, that's not all. Our credit cards are easy to use and can be used anywhere in the world. So come and visit our Christmas tree this season for your mortgage, land, vehicle, and credit card presents. It's Christmas at the Bank of Nevis Limited, and we are improving the quality of life.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
Welcome back, and now the regional news in detail. Puerto Rico's Governor Wanda Vasquez announced Monday that she will run for election to a full term next year. The announcement ends weeks of speculation about the politician's plans for Vasquez, who in August became the island's second unelected governor in 7 decades, following one of its most turbulent political periods. NBCnews.com quoted Ms. Vasquez as saying, "The people are tired of traditional politicians. I come from the bottom. For 32 years as a prosecutor, as a woman's advocate, and as a Secretary of Justice." Her candidacy sets off a primary contest with Pedro Pierluisi, the island's former non-voting representative in Congress, who is running for the nomination of the pro-statehood New Progressive Party. Vasquez became the U.S. territory's second female governor after one of the island's most significant shape-ups. Millions of Puerto Ricans marched in historic protests calling for the ouster of Ricardo Rossello as governor after someone leaked hundreds of profanity-laced and derogatory private chat messages between him and administration officials and associates, including lobbyists. She came into the governorship as the island struggled to recover from the devastation of Hurricane Maria, as well as its ongoing debt crisis. A Bermudan man is behind bars in Florida, the United States, after being charged with killing his mother during a family argument on his 28th birthday. According to Caribbean 360, Alexander Del Toro Jr. has been charged with the manslaughter of Cindy Del Toro and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. He appeared for an initial hearing on Monday before Broward Judge Jackie Powell, who said there was no word for the allegations that had been made against him. According to reports, Del Toro and his parents were driving home from a night out together last Saturday when they got into an argument. The dispute escalated when they reached home in Margate, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale. The younger Del Toro hit his father in the face, and as the two scuffled, the mother tried to intervene. However, her son pulled out a Glock handgun from the waistband of his pants and discharged a single shot which hit her in the face. Police said Del Toro, who was arrested the following day, said he had intended to shoot his father. Judge Powell imposed a total of US $101,000 in bail and added conditions on Del Toro, including no contact with his father and a ban on him having firearms. However, he did not have the money to make bail at the time. Out of Jamaica. Ongoing security operations under states of public emergency SOEs in 6 parishes will be intensified over the coming months. This was disclosed by Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Parnell Charles Jr., during a Senate sitting at which a 30-day extension of SOEs in St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, Clarendon, St. Catherine North, and St. Andrew South was approved. Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Parnell Charles Jr. emphasizes a point while moving 3 motions relating to a 30-day extension of states of public emergency in 6 parishes. Senator Charles said the government was seeking to effectively cauterize threats posed by criminals and to ensure lasting transformation of the affected communities. the SOE in St. Andrew South, which commenced on July 7, 2019, and was slated to end January 4, 2020, has been extended to February 4, 2020. The Clarendon and St. Catherine North SOEs declared on September 5th, which should have ended on January 18, 2020, will continue until February 18, 2020. Likewise, the SOEs declared on April 30, 2019 for St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland, which were scheduled to end on January 27, 2020, will now run until February 27, 2020. Under the SOEs, security forces have increased power to conduct searches, seizures, and detain persons of interest. Curfews may also be imposed without notice. Barbados has passed its latest International Monetary Fund (IMF) test with flying colors, and in the process, impressing the directors of the fund and opening up for itself access to almost $100 million from the Washington-based institution nationnews.com says. However, it was the comment of the directors of the IMF as they reviewed the progress on the island's Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation BERT program that was most heartening. According to the directors, in spite of its limited technical capacity, Barbados has made impressive progress towards achieving fiscal and debt sustainability, rebuilding reserves, reducing uncertainty towards generating growth. This development was explained by the government's economic advisor on loan from the IMF, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, who noted that the executive board of the IMF completed the second review of the BERT program, which is supported by an IMF Extended Fund Facility, EFF. He stated that this passing of the second review reflects Barbados meeting all its targets under the BERT program, and in some instances with a wide margin. And finally, the Bahamas is in line for US $50 million to help it recover from the devastating Hurricane Dorian, which left Grand Bahama and Abaco in shambles when it hit at the beginning of September. The board of directors of the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, said that it had approved an exogenous shock response policy-based loan of US $50 million. CDB President Dr. Warren Smith said the loan will support the people and the country during the recovery. As at October 2019, there were 67 confirmed deaths and 282 people still missing. Some 29,500 inhabitants, equivalent to over 40% of the combined population of Abaco and Grand Bahama, suffered severe damage to homes and assets. According to the United Nations, the total value of the damage and loss is equivalent to 25% of the gross domestic product GDP, which exceeds by far the damage and loss, equivalent to 4.9% incurred from Hurricane Matthew in 2016. In addition to providing finance for the ongoing recovery, the loan will support the implementation of the comprehensive reform program of the Bahamas that aims to achieve fiscal sustainability and enhance economic and physical resilience to external shocks and natural disasters while bolstering growth and job creation. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has defended the citizenship law that has provoked protests across the country. The Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, offers amnesty to non-Muslim illegal immigrants from 3 neighboring Muslim-majority countries. It amends India's 64-year-old citizenship law, which currently prohibits illegal migrants from becoming Indian citizens. Protests against the law have been continuing, with one in Delhi turning violent. Here is more in this BBC report.
Local residents in New Selampur in northeast Delhi said it started as a peaceful protest but soon got out of hand. Several cars and vehicles were damaged, and police said a small group of youth threw stones and bottles at them. Television pictures showed running battles between the police and a group of protesters. Officials said the situation had been brought under control. The violence is the latest in a week of opposition to a new law that makes it easier for non-Muslims from neighboring countries to gain citizenship.
Pope Francis has made changes to the way the Roman Catholic Church deals with cases of sexual abuses of minors by abolishing the rule of pontifical secrecy. New papal documents lift the obligation of silence on those who report abuse or say they have been victims. Church leaders called for the rule's abolition at the February Vatican Summit. Information in abuse cases should still be treated with security, integrity, and confidentiality, the Pope said. He also instructed Vatican officials to comply with civil laws while maintaining confidentiality and assist the civil judicial authorities in investigating such cases. The Pope has also charged the Vatican's change the Vatican's definition of child pornography, increasing the age of the subject from 14 or under to 18 or under. President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has said removing the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine became imperative for him and Mr. Trump. The ex-U.S. envoy, Mary Yovanovitch, fired abruptly in May, has been a key witness in impeachment proceedings against Mr. Trump. According to the BBC, Mr. Giuliani told the New Yorker, "I needed Yovanovitch out of the way." The House of Representatives votes this week on impeachment, a probe centered on Mr. Trump's Ukraine dealings. Mr. Trump is accused of pressuring Ukraine leader to dig up supposedly damaging information on former Vice President Joe Biden, a domestic political rival. The Republican president has denied all wrongdoing. Boeing will temporarily halt production of its troubled 737 MAX airliner in January, the manufacturer said. Production of the jet had continued despite the model being grounded for 9 months after 2 deadly crashes. Boeing had been hoping to have the planes back in the air by the end of this year. Mariah Carey's classic festive song, All I Want for Christmas Is You, has finally topped the U.S. charts 25 years after it was first released. When the hit song made its debut in 1994, it was an EP and not a single, meaning it wasn't allowed to compete in Billboard's Hot 100. "We did it," Carey tweeted, with a string of emojis to convey happy tears. And finally, the government is to add a new clause to the Brexit bill to rule out any extension to the transition period beyond the end of next year. The post-Brexit transition period, due to conclude in December 2020, can currently be extended by mutual agreement for up to 2 years. However, an amended withdrawal agreement bill the Commons is set to vote on this week would rule out any extension. The PM told MPs it would put an end to years of deadlock, dither, and delay. As the House of Commons assembled for the first time since the election, Boris Johnson said his priority was to get Brexit done. He also promised to seek common ground and to approach politics with a new and generous spirit after the rancor of recent years. Jeremy Corbyn congratulated the Conservative leader on his victory, but said he would be judged on whether he delivered on the many promises he had made during the campaign, including to long-standing Labour voters. That brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Get more than just VAT. TDC Automotive is giving you more. Pay no VAT on the first $100,000 on any vehicle. No deposit, no interest for the first 3 months. That's no VAT. No deposit, no interest. We give you more, so you save more. Receive up to $3,000 in cashback credit. Save up to 60% off your insurance premium. Get your personalized TDC token for 2 years of instant savings. Plus, save thousands in free extras. Get more than just VAT from TDC Automotive. We're #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. The West Indies has been fined for maintaining a slow over rate against India in the first ODI match in Chennai on Sunday. Based on an article from cricketworld.com, David Boone on the Emirates ICC elite panel of match referees imposed a fine after Kieron Pollard's side was ruled to be 4 overs short of its target after time allowances were taken into consideration. In accordance with Article 2.22 of the ICC Code of Conduct for Players and Player Support Personnel, which relates to minimum overrate offences, players are fined 20% of the match fees for every over their side fails to bowl in the allotted time. As such, the team has each been fined 80% of their match fee. Pollard pleaded guilty to the offence after the end of the match and accepted the proposed sanction, so there was no need for a formal hearing. On-field umpires Nitin Menon and Sean George, third umpire Rodney Tucker, and fourth umpire Anil Kadhari levelled the charge. The second ODI between India and West Indies will be tomorrow, December 18th. Still in cricket. The Nevis Under-17 team totally defeated their counterparts from St. Martin on Sunday, December 15th as the Leeward Islands Under-17 tournament continues. Summary scores: Nevis 186 from 36.3 overs. Tijari Clark 54, Carlin Bowen Tuckett 32, Jaden Carmichael 29, Akadendo Willett 28. Yadish Ramaj 4 for 37, Kishan Charles 3 for 36, St. Martin 91, all out in 23.5 overs. Nathan Edwards 16, Gian Griffin 2 for 9, Onarji Amri 2 for 14, Rion Solomon 2 for 21, and Akadiento Willett 2 for 24. Nevis won by 95 runs. Still in cricket. The Nevis Under-17 team continued in their winning ways as they defeated Montserrat in the ongoing Leeward Islands tournament on Monday, December 16th. Samurai scores: Nevis 142 for 5 in 25 overs. Tijari Clark 56, Patrice Nisbet Jr. 26, and Anderson Amardan 14. D. Rogers 2 for 28 and a wicket each for Mendes and Liebert. Montserrat 51 all out in 17 overs. S. Mendes 16 not out. Acadento Willett 4 for 7. R. Sigolan 2 for 6. Jan Griffin 2 for 12. Onaji Amory 1 for 0. And K. Nisbet 1 for 19. Nevis won by 91 runs. In local football, action continued in the local football league at the E.T. Willett Park on Sunday evening, December 15th, and featured the Villa United versus the Youths of the Future. Scores were: Youths of the Future 9 goals, Villa United 1. The next game is in the tournament is scheduled for Thursday, December 19th, and will feature the All Ballers FC versus Pioneers FC. And finally, here are the scores from last evening's games. Wizards 133, Pistons 119, Cavaliers 113, Raptors 133, Bulls 106, Thunder 109, and Heat 111, Grizzlies 118, Spurs 107, Rockets 109, Mavericks 120, Bucks 116, Trailblazers 111, and Suns 110. That's it for sports. The General Weather Report is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy in general with a 40% or moderate chance of a brief passing shower. Weather tomorrow will be partly cloudy in general with a 40% chance of a brief passing shower. Winds are east at 10 to 18 knots or 19 to 33 kilometers per hour, with higher spells over coastal waters and elevated terrain. Seas are 1.8 to 2.4 meters or 6 to 8 feet. A small craft advisory remains in effect for the waters east of the islands. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:33 a.m. And that's our wrap up the Major News package for today, Tuesday, 17 December 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, former PM and first living national hero to launch Making of a National Hero this week. And second DVRD slated for Saturday, December 21st. Regionally, Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vasquez announces she's running in the 2020 elections. Internationally, Fresh violence erupts in Delhi and amid Citizenship Amendment Act. And in sports, West Indies fined for store over rate in first ODI against India by International Cricket Council. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tasha Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.